Hey guys. I've had another point of Calvinism on my mind lately, and this one's the idea of unconditional election. If you've heard stuff on the debate between predestination and free will, this is the same thing. Now, Calvin taught that God's elect, saved people are predestined, and that this is a sovereign choice that God made before he created the world, who would be saved and who wouldn't be. And, they quote the verse about, I will show mercy to those who I will show mercy, and basically say God is sovereign, and since God is sovereign, then he makes these decisions and they stand. Now, the other side says, something more like, well, God is outside of time. So he knew before he created the world who would choose him and who wouldn't. And the ones who choose him are saved. And since he knew that before the creation of the world, he could predestine based on their choice. And that's a fun one too. I want to thank really quick Reformation Nation, who made a really great response to my first video on Calvinism. You're totally invited to do more if you want to. I'll state again that my intention here is to inform people, to make people think, and to make people really study and decide, what they think about certain things. Because I think it's important to know what we believe and why. With the perspective that we keep the big thing. Jesus is Lord. He is the only way to God. That's it, okay? The other stuff, it's fringe theology. It's fun to discuss, it's interesting to think about, to talk about, but Jesus is the way to heaven, and he's the way to really live, even while we're here on earth. And that we agree on, okay? So, I want to encourage everybody, just know what you believe and why. These videos are not meant to persuade anybody. They're just for discussion. I love you guys. It's been fun so far. Anyway, I'm going to move right along. The problem I've always had with it is if it's true, that people are saved or not saved based on a decision God made before the world was created, then he is now creating people who are destined for hell, and there's nothing they can do about it. The love and the care and the intimacy that Psalm, 139:14, it might be 149:13, where it says, I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. The psalmist talks about how God knits us together in our mother's womb in the secret place. It's so intimate, and there's so much love there, and there's so much attention there. I can't fathom my loving Father creating somebody that way who is already damned from before they're born. I can't do it. I can't think about God that way. Then one common response that a Calvinist, Reformed theologian type person might bring up is, well, if there's free will, then God's not really sovereign. God's not really in charge. He's not in control. If we can just make decisions about who is saved and whether we're saved or not saved, then that takes away from God's sovereignty, God's Lord over everythingness, right? And I go back to the beginning, way back in Genesis, where God said to the people, or maybe it was just Adam at that point. I'll have to look it up. I'll look it up, I promise. And he says, I'm giving you dominion over the world. Take dominion, take control. He, in his sovereign will, his sovereign power, gave dominion over the world to mankind. Think about that for just a minute. He said, take dominion over the world, govern the world, make choices about the world. The world is yours. He gave us that authority. It doesn't make him any less sovereign. It's a choice that he made. So those are probably the top two reasons I don't buy into unconditional election. Discuss, be nice, be in the Bible, think about it, decide. I love you guys. Bye.